when we deploy VLANs, we have to understand what we get by default. And we get very little when it comes to VLANs. Let me show you. I'm going to get in on one of my switches. I'm going to do a show VLAN brief. If I do this show VLAN brief, I want you to see that this is a great command, by the way. Command you should get used to. Some people just do show VLAN, which gives you more information than you really need and want. Okay. Show VLAN brief. That's the command I want you thinking about. Now, what defined extra VLANs do I have on this switch? None. These are the defaults. VLAN 1. Let's see if we can get rid of it. No VLAN 1. Ooh, tells me I can't. What about those other VLANs? 2002. These are special. I can't do anything to them. They are reserved for bridging, FIDI, and token ring. Both ring technologies, okay? So those you don't have access to. You cannot manipulate. So if you want to do anything special with VLANs, you have to have more than one. Otherwise, there's no logical partitioning that can take place. We do the logical partitioning first by defining the space. You have to define the space. And all of your switches in the switch block, in the building block, you know, that collection of access layer and distribution layer switches, they need to share the same definition. They need to. You don't want to play around with this. So you would create one by doing the command VLAN followed by a number. And it's a good idea to name your VLANs. Now, when we name a VLAN, I like to name it based on useful information that is going to be readable to someone following me. This is not tremendously useful. I would want to encode the subnet ID inside of that. I work a lot with IP addressing, routing, and if a VLAN is tied to a subnet, shouldn't we name our VLANs somehow based on the subnet ID? Now, you can encode extra stuff in this as well. The floor, the building, the department, whatever you think is appropriate. But I would encourage you to tack on inside of the name, not just something that describes the group. Now, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go to ASW1. We're going to say VLAN 10. Looks like VLAN 10 in my documentation here has a purpose. And I'm going to say PC 1 through 3. And then something like 10, 1, 1, 0, 26. Does it take the name? You think, oh, well, it didn't take the name. Let's get out of the mode. And then we'll see. It's one of those interesting things where we have to get out of the mode in order for those changes to take effect. But I think that's great. It's got PCs 1 through 3, and we have the subnet ID encoded in that. So that is going to tell me exactly what that purpose is. That might help me doing demonstrations and things like that even. So non-trivial for me. Now what else? Oh, there's another VLAN to define. So let's keep that convention. Name, copy, paste, change out a few of the parameters that are going to match what I need. And I think that's just for PC4. Great. Job done for the definition of let's fix that issue. Job done for the definition. I was just getting a little annoyed by getting kicked off the line that I'm typing on. Show VLAN brief. They're defined. Now you're going to have to do this on all of your switches. I'm going to go to another switch to illustrate this. DSW1 connected together, right? Show VLAN brief. I don't have anything extra. I don't have anything extra. I'm going to do a show flash, by the way. Right now, we don't have a VLAN definition file. the VLANs are defined in VLAN.dat. So that's something we would definitely want to understand. These are stored in Flash. So what have I done? I've named and created a few VLANs, but just local to that one switch. We want the other switches to know about it as well. And then, after you've created the VLANs, you can start to deploy them. You deploy them with switch port access